So ever since I was introduced to RailBlaza by the good folks at YakGear, people have been asking me about the RailBlaza products on my Waverunner and my Pac-Rac. So let's take a tour. This is the Rod Holder 2. Fits into the Starport, which you'll see more of a close-up here real soon, but the Starports are great and real easy to use. I like the Rod Holder 2. Very versatile, lots of different angles, excellent for freshwater fishing, bass fishing, the type of fishing that I enjoy doing. It is a lot more of a light tackle type of a fishing setup, but that works well for exactly the type of fishing that I've been doing. We'll take a little closer look at the RailBlaza II here in just a moment. Here we go. So to finish up with the Rod Holder 2, it does work very well in a variety of positions. In this case, of course, I have it angled out, and it's fantastic that the collar, the built-in collar, holds the rod just fine and exactly as advertised. If I want to drop this down, I can lock the rod in so I won't have any worries about fish running off with it, or if I'm going to fly across the lake or the ocean, I can lock that rod in pretty well. So that's the Rod Holder 2. Looks really good up there, and definitely more solid than the ram mount, definitely. So over here on the other side, let me go ahead and take out the Rod Holder 2 that's on the other side. I'll set it up on top of the cooler, and I've got a side mount Starport base here where I've gone in and put a GHold in. This GHold is actually great. It's the best solution that I've found for my oar. My oar used to sit up on top of the rack, which is good, but it could be used for something else up there, and I'm looking forward to that, perhaps a camera mount or something different up there once we figure out how to get the rail mounts working. But the G mount here, GHold, working great. Now we'll move over and check out the camera boom over here. So here we are with the boom mount positioned in another side port base down below a standard Starport base mounted on my forward accessory plate. Works really well, of course. I haven't figured out everything that I can do with it. The other item that I did have plugged in here, and I'll show you in a minute, well, as a matter of fact, I'll show you in a second. But there is the mount for the camera. Of course, I haven't adjusted it at this point or turned it around in any specific direction because it's a brand new setup. I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to want it positioned, to the front, to the rear. Am I going to go with a GoPro? Am I going to go with a waterproof case for that? It's a lot to think about. So you can see here, I removed the adjustable mount and the base. So you can see that I've put the moby holder in here as an alternate for this side port on this forward mount. Now the side port is great, works well under there. I could put an extension on this one, of course. I think that the ideal here might be an extension that brings this further out. So in here it's kind of tight, especially when I get that fish finder on there, but I'll show you that next. So you can see here, I removed the adjustable mount and the base. So you can see that I've put the moby holder in here as an alternate for this side port on this forward mount. Now the side port is great, works well under there. I could put an extension on this one, of course. I think that the ideal here might be an extension that brings this further out. So in here it's kind of tight, especially when I get that fish finder on there, but I'll show you that next. So here we've got the Starport base down here, of course, with the adjustable mount, and this is where I have my fish finder. Works really well down in here. and we're locked. Of course, I'd lock that in afterwards, but fits in real well. The base, by the way, was great. Very easy to mount the fish finder base to this unit. It was very easy to mount. Was definitely happy with that. So there you have it. That's my current setup with the RailBlaza product line.